Hey everybody, it's Mr. Eason, and today we're going to work a little bit more on our division strategies. I posted a video that wasn't mine for the last homework, and so I wanted to make a video for myself to kind of go over some ways to make this strategy a little more efficient than the way that they might have shown. We've been talking about this in class, but I just wanted to reiterate, which means say again, some of these ideas. So we're going to look at this first word problem that says there are 440 goldfish in one bag, which equals about 8 servings. How many goldfish are in one serving? Some of you all might remember this question from class today or yesterday or whenever, and that's okay. But we can still practice on how to solve this. So we're going to get our partial quotients strategy set up. So I'm going to go ahead and get my 440 here. I'm going to divide that by 8. So in the video we saw yesterday, or a couple days ago, it said to do 8 times 10, right? And 8 times 10 will eventually work in a question like this. But if you think about what 8 times 10 is, being only 80, 80 seems really far away from 440. Like, really far away. So we might want to think about a different fact besides 8 times 10. And the facts we should now start considering are other multiples of 10. So 8 times 20, 8 times 30, 8 times 40, 8 times 50. Things like that that are easy facts to know, but could help us subtract off more than just 80 at once. Because if I have to subtract 80 and only 80 at once, it's going to be a very long equation. It may not even fit on my screen. So I'm going to pick a bigger fact besides 8 times 10. I'm going to pick, I don't know, let's do 8 times 40. So over on the side, I'm going to write 8 times 40. I'll choose a different color, though. So if you know that 8 times 4 is 32, 8 times 40 would be 320. And I can subtract that off. 4 minus 2 is 2, 4 minus 3 is 1, and I have 120 goldfish left. So the next thing I'm considering is, can I subtract another 320 off of my answer? And no, I can't, because I only have 120 goldfish left. So now might be a good time to use an 8 times 10 fact, because I know that 8 times 10 is 80, and I can subtract 80 from 120. I have 40 remaining. So now in your head you're thinking, is there an 8 fact that equals 40? And if you know an 8 fact that equals 40, you can use it right away and get done immediately. If you don't, you might know an 8 fact that equals other numbers, and you could use those other numbers to kind of work up. I happen to know that 8 times 5 is 40, and I can subtract that off. I have 0 left, and I have 40, 10, and 5, which ends up being 55. So there are 55 goldfish in one serving. Okay? I just wanted to show you guys one other thing. We talked about this strategy being flexible, and so what I think is interesting and important to show is that that is not the only way to do it. There are less efficient ways, and there are more efficient ways. I am going to focus on the more efficient way because, you know, we want to try to be as efficient as we can. So maybe instead of doing 8 times 40, you thought to do 8 times 50 at first. Well, 8 times 5 is 40, so 8 times 50 is 400. And I'm down to 40 right away. 8 times 5 is 40. And I have 55. If you can do it in those 2 jumps, then you are basically ready for long division. That's kind of what long division would end up being, essentially. And so that's kind of the best way to make that jump. Let's look at one more example of a question, and then we will be done with our video. So this time we're just going to pick another equation to try. I'm going to try 268 divided by 4. So I'm going to get my partial quotient strategy set up, also called the Big 7 for some of my friends who like that. So I am thinking of a 4 fact that can get you close to 268. Knowing that 4 times 10 is only 40, man, I need a much bigger fact, okay? You could do 4 times 20, 4 times 30, 4 times 40, any other number, as long as you don't go over 268. So 4 times 10, I'm sorry, 4 times 100, that's too much because 4 times 100 is 400. You know what, I'm going to do 4 times 30 to start. Why not? 4 times 3 is 12, so 4 times 30 is 120. I have 148 things left to split into 4 groups, so perhaps I notice, hey, I can do another 4 times 30. That's 120. I subtract that off. I have 28 left. And now you need a 4 fact that equals 28. The beauty is, if you don't know a 4 fact that equals 28, you can pick a 4 fact. I'm going to pretend like I don't. And I'm going to say, I know 4 times 5 is 20. And do I know a 4 fact that equals 8? I do. 4 times 2 equals 8. So my answer here would be whatever I multiplied 4 by. 30, 35, and 2, which is 67. Now, just for fun, because we're looking for flexibility, you could make this more efficient. I could pick a 4 fact that's much closer to 268. I could pick a 4 fact that was 4 times 60. That is 240 right off the bat, and I'm down to 28. And then I can pick a 4 fact that I know equals 28, which is 4 times 7. And I have 0 left over, 0 remainder. So my answer is still 67. As you can see, this one took 2 equations. This one took 4 equations. And that's kind of what's nice about this strategy, is that there's some flexibility. You can do it in more than one way. You don't have to make the best possible guess every time, as long as you are not going above what you have left. And as long as you're subtracting correctly, making good subtraction equations and solving them correctly. So I think that's about it for the partial quotient strategy for division. If you have any more questions, you can always ask me in class. Hopefully you do well on your homework, and I will see you guys next time.